Every Star Citizen cherishes the immersion that the game brings to the table. By design, Star Citizen is a complex space simulation, so using physical devices such as joysticks or throttle controllers can greatly enhance the gameplay experience. By default, Star Citizen has many controls that are spread across your keyboard and mouse. This can make it difficult to remember which keys do what, and it can be frustrating when you need to react quickly while being pirated by the Mongrel Squad or an unruly NPC. This space simulation demands a high level of immersion to fully appreciate and enjoy the experience. Most players that experiment with physical controls usually start with a single joystick or sometimes a HOTAS setup, joystick and a throttle combo, while others venture to using a HOSAS, which includes 2 joysticks to expand the number of available axes to control your ships. But today I don't want to talk about the flight controls, since most serious Star Citizen players have already invested in one of these devices. I wanted to go beyond joysticks to see what else can we leverage for even more immersive experience. A couple of months ago, one of our community members, Nactangel, shared his Simpit setup on Discord, and seeing his elaborate setup inspired me to work towards improving my own. I have already been happily using VKB dual joysticks, but one item that he highlighted to me is the use of a customizable console like the Stream Deck. On some more research, I decided to give a competitor's product a try, the Loupedeck Live S. Customizable button consoles like the Stream Deck or the Loupedeck resolve the problem of Star Citizen relying on way too many keyboard shortcuts. They accomplish this by allowing you to program all of your most important controls onto a customizable button, or set of buttons rather, that are easy to access. Additionally, these devices provide knobs that can be utilized for special functions such as throttle control, mining laser power, or scanner scope. The Loupedeck was originally designed primarily for photographers, videographers, or streamers. The device can be used for launching applications, controlling media playback, mapping keys, and the like. This makes it ideal for games like Star Citizen, where you need to control a multitude of ship systems and have those controls quickly and easily accessible to you. The device itself is relatively compact, it has a nice and solid feel, and appears to be well made. The touch-sensitive buttons give haptic feedback when touched, and dials can have dual use of being pressed as well as rotated. For buttons that do not have a customizable background, the background color can be changed. While many applications have native API-based integration, such as OBS, Streamlabs, Twitch, Adobe products, Final Cut Pro, amongst others, Star Citizen has to rely on key mapping. The first step in using your Loupedeck with Star Citizen is to download and install the Loupedeck software from their website. Once the software is installed, you can start programming the controls to work with the way that best fits your workflow in the game. To program your Loupedeck buttons for Star Citizen, you will need to create a new profile. This will allow you to customize the console specifically for Star Citizen. And moreover, this profile can be then made to automatically start based on what active application is running. So you can essentially have your Star Citizen profile launch when the game is started. Once you've created a new profile, you can start adding buttons, knobs, and sliders to control various ship systems. Which controls you implement is really up to you, and it really depends on what joysticks and what other consoles you may already be using that likely you have some of the buttons already mapped. Personally, I've chosen to include some of the controls that I have not mapped on my joysticks, but still want to have close by, without having to essentially reach for the keyboard. Everything that can be done with your keyboard can be mapped to the Loupedeck. Actions that are repeated often, such as powering up and shutting down your key ship systems, can be mapped and easily to the buttons with customizable icons, which look kind of cool. And it makes these functions a lot more intuitive to execute rather than trying to remember a specific key on your keyboard and then trying to find that key while you're in the middle of battle. While you have up to 14 pages of customizable buttons, I actually opted just for single page since I don't like having to switch between pages while trying to focus on the game. But this feature can be especially useful to have, where you can configure discrete pages for mining or ship combat, first-person combat, or other activities that you would benefit from having separate specialized shortcuts for. Then you can switch to each of these with a predefined key. So you can essentially split up the 3 keys on the right hand of the console to launch different pages for, let's say, mining with the top key, ship combat with the middle key, and let's say first-person combat with the bottom key. It's really up to you how you configure the panel. It's entirely in your control. For my setup, I've decided to have the first knob control my scanning, and the second knob to control the power of the mining laser. The button below the knobs takes on the role of being the flight-ready ship startup toggle, and the 3 buttons on the right-hand side serves as toggle for the 3 key ship systems: weapons, engines, and shields. The customizable buttons in the center are the real eye candy of this device, where you can not only rely on assigning custom actions, but also you can have custom icons to go along with each action. The beauty of the Loupedeck versus devices that are not customizable is that when not being used in Star Citizen, it can be used for a number of other use cases, such as controlling operating system functions like opening folders or websites, launching programs, or application-specific use cases. For example, when playing Star Citizen in VR, which is not officially supported, you need to launch multiple tools, as highlighted in my video tutorial if you're interested, which I'll link below. But here, the Loupedeck can be used to group actions and launch the different tools quickly with the click of a single button. And the device shines when it comes to its intended uses, like streaming, where you can configure custom audio clips for each button, volume controls on the dials, and other actions that work well with your specific workflow. Likewise, other native app integrations are great, giving photographers shortcuts to be used in applications like Lightroom and Photoshop to quickly navigate through photos, use dials to make adjustments and image scaling, and control quick actions using the custom buttons. This extends into video editing as well, where dials can be used for scrubbing through the timeline and zooming. You can also map controls for color grading, and again, allowing all key controls to be within easy reach and in a single place. The Loupedeck also provides a marketplace for sharing profiles, plugins, icon packs, overlays, and other content. A large majority of these are free and enable tighter integrations with other applications, or also custom look and feel to your specific Loupedeck. All in all, it's a really versatile device that I found especially useful for Star Citizen. It adds that bit of physical immersion, and with customizable buttons gives me that feel of actually being in the game. And as a bit of disclosure, I was not paid by Loupedeck to say any of these things. I genuinely have enjoyed the device, and I just wanted to share a tool that has added a bit of extra immersion to my gameplay. The Loupedeck is officially supported in Windows and Mac OS, but there are ways to get it working with open source software in Linux as well. In fact, I prefer to play Star Citizen in Linux due to the slightly better performance and stability with my AMD GPU. So while you cannot easily map custom icons, you can create custom text labels, colors, and key mapping, which is enough to make use of the panel with Star Citizen. So thank you for watching. Hope that this video was helpful and gave you some ideas in terms of setting up more immersive experience for Star Citizen. It's a versatile product and a great tool that can really enhance your gameplay experience in Star Citizen, so I highly recommend it.